guys, Jonah here, back with a beer review, back with a bit of a squeaky chair as well. You know how we roll. And this is a special beer because I got it from, well, Andy wasn't actually in, but I got it from James and Jed, it was, and Mike as well, who were holding court in the Royston the other day. I had a bit of an epic because I was also trying the custard beers, the Turning Point custard beers. So we had the vanilla custard, we had the dark matter custard, and we had the roly-poly jam in a holy custard. And they're basically custard because they have a bit of vanilla flavour and they add lactose to them. A little bit too sweet for me, apart from the jam roly-poly, which wasn't hugely sweet, which I thought was really interesting, and it definitely had a jammy kind of thing. But on the way home, I picked up this bad boy from the Royston, as I say, Sakura, which, as we all well known, is the cherry blossom in Japan, and that is by GlassHouse Brewing. If you're from Japan, you might have trouble saying GlassHouse. You might say GrassHouse or something. And there are a couple of different versions of this, but I will go into what this one is in a second. Dun, dun, dun. Trying to show you the ABV. It's 6. Oh, it doesn't actually say there. Where's the ABV? Oh, it's at the top. Of course it is. 6.3 on the ABV. And this is the version that has Nelson Sauvin, Mosaic, and Cryo Mosaic. It's also got some wheat in there. It's got some oats in there because obviously it's going to be a hazy IPA, which I think is really, really interesting because there's no Citra in this bad boy. So we are dealing with Mosaic, which after Citra, I believe Mosaic is the second most grown hop. Definitely in the US, but I'm thinking it is in the world. And is it any wonder that usually pale ales and IPAs have a combination of Citra and Mosaic because they're the top two hops grown in the world, and hence, the availability of them is really good. But interesting that they paired this bad boy with Nelson Sauvin, as we all know, has that kind of winey, light flavour. I would say it's a bit like kind of white fruits such as lychee and that kind of stuff. But obviously, it's got a bit of grape as well because of the name. We shall see what we get from this bad boy. So thank you very much. I don't believe, well, no one's actually scored it on Untapped through the Royston yet. People have scored this, and I think some people got a bit confused because there is another version of this which has slightly different hops in it. And to honour Andy from the Royston, I'm using the Flock glass that he gave me to do a review about a couple of weeks ago it was. So I'm using this one. Cheers and beers. Oh, you can see it's a hazy bad boy. I do not believe that this has any actual cherry stuff in it, but I could be wrong. It doesn't say it. Oh, does it say it? I don't think it does. I only briefly looked at the ingredientes. No, just wheat and hops, in addition to the normal barley, water, yeast. Interesting. So there we go. Oh, I should probably put it round that way so you can see it a bit. We have a very thin head, 6 and a bit, 6.5 almost, 6.3, and it is very, very cloudy. Some people have said it's quite dank. Other people have said it's very tropical. So yeah, there's a bit of kind of resistance to what it is. Obviously Mosaic hops, and I'm assuming the Cryo Mosaic is going to bring out the kind of, game of two halves there because it's a bit tropical and it's got a bit of dankness to it too. I found out something about mosaic hops. It does smell reasonably dank, which is good. Yeah, mosaic hops, part of the heritage come from Simcoe. So it should be a bit of a juicy, citrusy hop, but the other side comes from nugget hops. So you've got Simcoe Nugget Cross, and nugget tends to give like well, it can give a sort of blueberry type flavour, but sometimes if you get a slightly wrong one, it gives a bit of a cat pea type flavour. I'm trying to get the Nelson because it's really light, but all I'm getting is kind of a more, yeah, generic dank. Usually I would say Citra, but I know there isn't any in here. Interesting. Anyway, cheers and beers to you, one and all. Yeah, I'm doing a few more of these reviews. I mean, I always do them on Untap, but I'm doing a few more of them in front of the camera, trying to get back into that kind of recording type thing. Yeah, lots of different reasons why I haven't been doing so many videos, but I'm definitely going to try and get back into the recording, and hopefully you guys appreciate it. Let me know down below if you like my videos, or perhaps if you dislike them, you could tell me that too. Hopefully you don't, but otherwise I'll just keep churning them out, and yeah, we'll see where we get to. Cheers and beers, guys. Ooh, ooh, bit of a hiccup there. Wow, interesting. I have had a couple of beers earlier on today. Wow, that's really interesting because as you're drinking it, you are getting the kind of light flavors as you pass your palate, as you drink. But as soon as you stop and you sort of, smart your taste buds, you instantly start getting that more kind of dank, that verdant, that green kind of thing going on, which is kind of generic hops. But then I was getting the kind of fruity kind of thing going on. And it was in, yeah, like a kind of stony, fruity way, crossed with what I was getting a bit of berry in there. I'm not sure I would call it necessarily blueberry as such, but I was getting a little bit of berry mixed in there too. Gonna assume that it's the blueberry coming through. Um, yeah, and then a bit of that kind of wine grape skin kind of thing. Yeah, I wouldn't say I'm getting, oh, maybe I'm getting them right at the tail end, those kind of higher notes, because, yeah, if you've got a really dank beer, having a really subtle hop like Nelson, for example, yeah, you might not get it to start with, but maybe that's why they're calling it Sakura, because as you kind of think about things and the aftertaste lingers and lingers on, because I've still not taken my second drink yet, I am getting some of those higher flavors coming through, the light white tones, melon perhaps. Yeah, that kind of lychee, maybe even a kind of, not a cherry, but a cherry blossom, like a higher level of cherry, if you like, a more subtle version. Yeah, really interesting for a dank beer. And if you like your dank beers, you will be quite happy with this. Um, Maybe don't put it in the fridge overnight like I did, because I only picked it up yesterday. Um, but yeah, if you're really liking those dank flavors, maybe let it warm up a little bit. Pardon me, once again, quite good dissolved carbon dioxide in that bad boy. Let's go in for some second runnings, as it were. Yeah, it's really interesting. Maybe I am getting a bit of that berry, that blueberry kind of thing, but it's right up front. Then it kind of descends into a bit of that dankness. Interestingly, not so much on the second draft of this beer. That could be because my synapses haven't fully kind of recovered from that dankness to start with. But yeah, that berry flavour is definitely coming through more. Definitely right up front, but it's also kind of coming through a bit more in the mouth feel, shall we say. And then the tropicalness kind of melds in there. So things like guava, papaya sort of mix in with that berry. And then I'm waiting for it now because I know it's going to come. That more lighter tone. Oh, there we go. Yeah, that more lighter tone, that more lychee type thing. Melon, and I don't mean watermelon, I mean like kind of honeydew, that lighter thing, but it's not very sweet. It's just that kind of taste, that flavour coming through right at the tail end. So this could be, oh yeah, drinking a dank beer, get it down you kind of son, like some people do. Certain crafter louts, shall we call them, who all they do is like drinking 10 pints of craft beer. We used to call them lager louts back in the day, but lager kind of isn't de rigueur anymore. But yeah, the flavours there are really, really interesting. I'm liking the fact that they haven't put Citra in here, because you would have thought this kind of beer, this kind of IPA, hazy, obviously, a bit hazy, you would have thought Citra up front. But they haven't done that. But what they've done is they've gone for the number two son in Sakura. Hype. Number two, i.e. Mosaic, which is really interesting. And they've used that, I guess they're using that as the base. No one would, well, call me wrong, but no one would use Nelson Sauvin as a bittering hop. I don't think that's not going to be the main hop in this beer. It's going to be Mosaic. Of course it is. We do have a bit of lacing on the glass. I know it's hard to see in a short, squat glass, but we are definitely getting some lacing on the side. There we go. On the back side too, which is really cool. I like lacing, as you well know if you've watched this channel. In these type of beers, it's getting the balance between the oats and the wheat right. So predominantly you're getting that kind of creaminess, that that kind of unctuousness, maybe a little bit of a thicker mouthfeel. I didn't really talk about that, but weirdly it's surprisingly light, but also it contributes to the kind of opaqueness of the beer, looking like that kind of milkshake type hazy. And then the wheat in there as well helps balance things, but also, pardon me, adds to the head retention. Obviously, there wasn't that much in this particular beer, but it aids the lacing on the side of the glass too, if you're into that type of stuff, which I am. So yeah, interesting. I think this beer was about $6.50, which is unusual for me, but yeah, when I'm buying a beer and supporting my my local pub, in this case a micro pub, I don't mind paying a tiny bit more. I know you can get it a little bit cheaper. You can get it in the late fives, 5.9, that kind of range. But for a 6.5% hazy IPA, my God, I was drinking stout earlier on. And the fact that it's springtime, and this beer is called Sakura, is absolutely fantastic. I really, really am liking this beer. I have had some other GlassHouse beers. I think mainly at the Royston pub, but I've had them on cask. This is the first one I've had in the can. I think it's really good. I would definitely try other ones of these. And yeah, they have some other Polly's as well. There might be some Polly's beers in the offing, if you know what I mean. We'll see how well we do. Oh, and I was going to say, big shout to Cup Noodle Sue, who gave me the heads up on the Asda beer deal. Usually they do weird things like 3 beers for a certain price, you know, like £6, £7, whatever it is. But they or buy 3 get 1 free, yeah, or 4 for 3 or whatever it is. But they've got a new one which is 5 beers for £10, so £2 a can. And there were lots of brew dogs and sirens, and I think there was a northern monk in there too, which were all quite strong. They were all over 6%. Some of them were 8%, I think. You're getting an 8% beer for £2 when you work it all out and average it through. That is a fantastic deal. So if you haven't been to Asda supermarket for a while, why not check it out and tell them Uncle Jonah sent you? And I want that deal, 5 beers for £10, because that's really, really good deal in my book. This has been, as always, your loving Uncle Jonah, drinking beers for your entertainment. And don't panic, because I'll be coming back, and I'll be coming back with a beer review real damn soon.